In this video, I will give you some insights into the top 4 trends in internal communications in 2025. My name is Joanna. I'm an internal communications author, consultant, trainer, and lecturer, and I'm here to help you demystify the world of internal comms and employee engagement. Let's jump right into the trends I see as important for 2025. And trend 1 is simplicity. I feel like as human beings, we tend to overcomplicate things, don't we? We tend to inadvertently, with the best of intentions, make things a bit messy, a bit more complex than they need to be. And I see this a lot in the world of internal communications. Think about what happened to our systems of communication during COVID-19, for example. Every organization was kind of panicked and scrambling on how we're going to communicate with everyone when they're at home, and started adding on more channels and adding on more tech and figuring out all this stuff. And it was a real ad hoc bolt-on system kind of came up, and it got quite complicated, and employees have to navigate a bajillion different channels and systems to get the information they need to do their job. And that's kind of annoying for the employees, but this kind of fragmentation is also really inefficient and risky for the business, because there's a risk that people will miss critical information or stuff they really need to know simply because the system is so messy and complicated. So here's me on my soapbox for 2025. Let's just focus on simplicity. In 2025, successful internal communication for me looks like ruthlessly simplifying systems, channels, and messages. Getting rid of some of those communication channels that are competing with other ones or that aren't being used anymore. Embracing really clear, simple messages that people can understand immediately. Meeting employees where they are, making it really easy for them to find information in a way that suits them. One way you can start to do this is simply to go and talk to your employees. Understand the communication experience from their perspective rather than yours. How do they work? Where do they get their information? Where do they want to get their information? What's really frustrating them? Can we pare it all back, meet them where they are, and just make things simpler? If you're looking for a kind of an easy DIY way to start reviewing your channels and your content to make them simpler, I'm going to leave a link down below for a downloadable playbook you can get on my website. It's called Internal Comms Audit Playbook, and it's designed as a system of templates and checklists to help you review your channels and your content, with the idea of having this nice, simple, structured approach that will really work for your organization. I'll put the link down below. Trend number 2, let's talk about AI. Not so much AI for content generation, but AI for strategic planning. AI for the really smart internal communicators who are figuring out how AI can really help them, not just with their workflows, but with their whole approach to planning, measurement, evaluation. AI tools have come such a long way just in the last year alone, and they're brilliant for doing things that might take you a day or 2 days and can do it in 5 minutes. For example, maybe you've done a big employee survey and lots of employees left open comments that you would have to read through and start to group them together into themes. AI can do that for you in seconds, and it can do sentiment analysis to tell you what percentage of the comments were positive and what percentage were negative, and what are those themes and patterns that are coming up very quickly, to give you a sense of what's important and what matters to your employees. You can also be using AI for getting really clear on the alignment between your communication activity and what's important to the business, for helping you refine your objectives to make sure they're really smart, to help figuring out what are the right measures for what I'm trying to achieve and when and how should I be doing that, and also to ensure that your chosen tactics really align to your objectives and that there is a logical hierarchy there in your strategy. I think the key difference from last year when I think about AI now is when tools like ChatGPT first came out, it was seen very much as a content creation tool. Now I see it more as a kind of a thinking partner that can help you with your whole approach and your planning, rather than just churning out some content and some stuff. I am a big fan of using AI as your assistant. I even have a short course on my website if you want to do a course on that. I have gone through in that course 38 different prompts that you can use across the communications planning cycle, that you can use ChatGPT or really any generative AI tool to help you with your planning. I use these tools all the time. I highly recommend you do too. I'll put a link to that down below if you want to have a look at that course. The third trend for internal comms in 2025, this is something I think about a lot. something that a lot of comms teams aren't doing or haven't nailed is clarity of purpose. What is the purpose of internal communications in your organization? What is the value you bring? What are you there to do? For a lot of organizations, they are realizing that internal comms isn't just about distributing information or sending things through channels, but rather it's a strategic function that drives business outcomes. And it's not a nice to have, it's a need to have. The business needs effective internal comms. And if you want to be able to align your work to business priorities and you want to be able to demonstrate your value to leaders, you need to get super crystal clear on what is the purpose of internal comms in your organization. For example, is the purpose to create strategic alignment in the organization so all the employees are clearly moving in the same direction, working towards the strategic goals? Or is your purpose to create a sense of belonging? Maybe you're a company that has merged two companies together and it still feels like two, and your role is actually to create that unified sense of belonging. It's more of a culture role. Or maybe your job is to help employees to do their jobs as efficiently as possible, to make the organization more productive by making sure that everyone can access the information that they need quickly and easily. Or maybe internal comms in your company is supporting change and transformation. Now, I can't tell you what your purpose is because it's going to be different in every organization, but you need to get curious and figure out what that is, because it makes it so much easier to say no to lots of other stuff because it's not aligned to your purpose. So if your purpose, for example, is about efficiency and productivity, and people are asking you to do lots of stuff about social events and stuff to do with belonging, and that's not aligned to that, so you don't do that because you're focused on this. It's very hard to say no to stuff if you don't have a clear purpose. Take some time this year to reflect and think about what is the purpose of internal comms for you. Drop me an email if you're totally stuck, you don't know where to start. I'll help you out. I'll put my email address below. Okay, fourth and final trend in internal comms for 2025 for me is about self-service communication resources, which is a bit of a mouthful. Let's unpack that together. I see a lot of internal communicators or teams who are just drowning in work. They're spending so much time on content creation and communication plans, and they're doing all the work for all the stakeholders. They're really trying to be everything for everybody, and as a result their work is diluted and they're totally exhausted and they're getting kind of fed up. And this approach is a little bit short-sighted maybe, because if you don't help other people to improve their communication skills, you're not really doing the business any favors. You shouldn't be doing everything by yourself. So in this trend, let's talk about helping stakeholders to communicate better without you. And let's do that through giving them self-service resources, giving them tools that they can use to communicate better. This could be templates, this could be checklists, this could be how-to guides. Maybe it could be an AI writing assistant that will prompt them on not burying the lead or using clear language. It could be building a self-service library with pre-approved graphics and images that people just grab and use themselves. It could be creating like really simple communication playbooks that people can take and use. You could also be looking at things like collaborating with your L&D team if you have one. You could also be looking at some training materials and workshops for leaders and managers to help them become better communicators so that they are less reliant on you. And what I like about this approach is it transforms you from the doer of all things to the advisor, to the counsel, to that trusted partner where people can ask for your advice and you go, oh, I have something that can help you with that. Here you go. You have then a lot more time to focus on the stuff that really aligns with your purpose and the stuff that's really important, and you can put all your time and energy there. And this is really about building organizational capacity, isn't it? That everybody is becoming better communicators and you are also less at risk of burning out. So like, what a win. There you go. There's the top 4 trends that are on my mind for 2025. We've got simplicity. We've got AI for strategic work. We've got clarity of purpose. We've got self-service. And I feel like these trends, they're not so much predictions as they are massive opportunities. And I think that communicators who are focused on doing this kind of work will be leading the way going into 2026. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. Help me get to 10,000 subscribers on my lovely little channel. In the meantime, that's it. Thanks very much and see you later.